Hello everyone, and welcome back to another must-see chess game from the history of chess. So in this chess game we have Philip Milner-Barry, who was also a code breaker who served his country in the Second World War, and his opponent, and Milner-Barry was a chess master from England, of course. And in this chess game his opponent was the Finnish chess master Veikko Hanninen with the black pieces. So this chess game was played in the Moscow Chess Olympiads in Moscow, Russia in 1956. So let's see what happened in this amazingly beautiful chess game that you have to see. It's a beautiful chess miniature, and I think this chess game was in the famous book of Laszlo Polgar's famous chess puzzle book. It is an absolutely amazing and a beautiful game. So let's see if you can also see the winning moves at the critical moment. So we have the Vienna game, and this is the Vienna Gambit f4, and then we have d5 charging to the center, striking back d5. So f takes on e5, and then knight takes on e4, and then d3, and we have knight takes on c3. So in this position, actually queen to h4 seems very intimidating, but this looks intimidating, but it could backfire for black with g3, and this also looks so intimidating. Knight takes on g3, but then knight to f3, and this is going to backfire for black potentially. So queen to h5, still pinning the rook, but then knight takes on d5. As you can see, it is getting complicated, attacking the pawn. So if something like knight to a6, then white has knight to f4, and black has to move the queen, and then we can take the knight, losing material for black. Also in this position, I think rook to g1 is strong. So anyway, so this is why, maybe that's why we have knight takes on c3, damaging the pawn structure, and white can push the pawn. So black doesn't want that. d4, knight to f3, c5, bishop to e2. Black could take on c3, actually, this pawn, but white is basically sacrificing a pawn for the rapid development with castling. So white is going to be ahead in the development for a sacrificed pawn. So we have bishop to e7, and both players castled. Queen to e1, and hoping to play queen to g3, catching his opponent off guard, and the threat is that simple actually. So we have f6 and then queen to g3, and it happened. So f takes on e5, and then exclamation point, bishop to h6, threatening checkmate. So bishop to f6. So if rook to f7, then knight takes on e5, attacking the defender, and black is in trouble actually. So this pawn is pinned, as you know. So bishop to h6, bishop to f6, and then simply knight takes on e5, and white is better. So bishop takes, queen takes, and defending the checkmate idea, basically white is sacrificing the bishop. But can you see why white is sacrificing the bishop? So we have rook to f6. If pawn takes bishop, then rook takes rook, queen takes, and then can you guess the move? What would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? So guess the move. I will give you 10 points out of 10 if you can guess the move. Okay. Bishop to f3, exclamation point, and actually there is no good defense against bishop to d5 check. The king is stuck and under fire, both the queen and the bishop. So you can see that both the light square and the dark square, it doesn't look good for black, and this is bad news. So there is no good defense against bishop to d5. So for example, so basically white is sacrificing the bishop, sacrificing the valuable dark square bishop to open the dark diagonal for the queen, and this time bishop to d5, and this is very bad news for black. So bishop to e6, takes, and the bishop is behaving like a bulldozer. So okay, so we have rook to f6, and then can you guess the move again? So this is a very strong move for white actually. So both defending the mate idea and also attacking the bishop. Philip Stuart Milner-Barry played Bishop takes on g7. And did you see this move? We have rook to e6. Nothing works actually. If king takes, then we have check. And this is very bad news. Check. And then rook takes. And rook to g6 is a terrible move, because then queen takes queen. If king to h8, queen takes rook. So, okay, rook to e6. It looks like this is also skewering the bishop. This bishop is also under attack. It looks like white is going to lose material. So if trying to defend this bishop with this move, then rook takes. I mean, queen to g5 doesn't work. Queen takes queen. But white played a very good move. Queen to h5. And we have queen to e7. Attempting to sacrifice the bishop again. But this is getting checkmated immediately in two moves. So queen to e7, attacking the bishop, but then bishop to h6. We have knight to d7. If rook takes bishop, then can you see the move? What was white's idea? Then queen to g5 is a very strong move, because if capturing the queen, we have Morphy mate. Paul Morphy's checkmate. I mean, he checkmated the Count and the Duke in the Opera House, just like this. It was similar. So we have queen takes on g5. Doesn't work. I mean, okay. And if king to h8, capturing the queen, rook takes, and then rook up, checkmate. Simply a very beautiful chess game. So we have bishop to h6, knight to d7, so defending on f8, but the rook is stuck. It is confined on a8, and the bishop is also stuck. This is not an ideal position. So bishop to g4, rook to e5, queen to h3, attacking the defender maybe. Also queen to g3 is going to be very strong. So knight to b6 in a difficult position, but then rook to f8, simply only move, giving up the queen, and then queen takes on h7, and black resigned. Because if bishop takes bishop, forking both rooks, so capturing, skewering the rook and forking the rook. So queen takes on e5, and if moving the king, queen check, and then picking up the bishop. And if king here, queen check, again picking up the bishop, I believe. This move is also strong, queen to c7 maybe. Anyway, so black is going to lose further material. Also the rook can join the attack. So this was a sweet chess game by Mr. Barry, as sweet as blueberry. So thank you so much for watching, and again I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.